Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Here is your pro wrestling news rundown. And we're going to start with reports that Vince McMahon is looking to start a new entertainment company. We've got some new details regarding this. So, earlier this week, PW Insider reported that McMahon, who is 79 years old, is looking to start a company out of Los Angeles that would fund, develop, and produce film and TV projects. It was specifically mentioned in the report that there are no plans for the company to develop wrestling content or compete with WWE in any way. Now, it's very likely that Vince has had this in the back of his mind since he resigned from TKO Group Holdings in the wake of the Janelle Grant lawsuit in January. However, there are concerns that people will not want to work with the company while McMahon's legal issues are ongoing, which is why the company is not expected to launch until after there has been some resolution to at least the Janelle Grant lawsuit, if not also the lawsuit filed on behalf of 5 survivors of the Ring Boy scandal. Kendra Barkoff-Laney, the spokesperson representing Janelle Grant, released a statement on reports that McMahon's looking to start a new company. Her statement reads, "Both on and off the camera, Vince McMahon has built a reputation for his violent outbursts, sexual deviance, manipulation, and abuse. No one who cares about survivors and justice should want to work for or with any company of McMahon's. He needs to be held accountable for the heinous acts committed against Janelle Grant and others at WWE." So sources indicate that several former WWE employees are already attached to McMahon's new project. They include Brad Bloom, who is WWE's former COO, and Kristen Prouty, a former senior vice president of entertainment relations. Bloom, who left WWE in May following his identification as corporate officer number 2 in the ongoing Janelle Grant lawsuit. He is a longtime Vince McMahon ally, very loyal to Vince, so people are not surprised that Brad Bloom is attached to this new company. And Kristen Prouty, she is a former Hollywood casting director, so that seems as though it would fit with what McMahon's new company is looking to do. She played a major role in WWE's recruitment of high-profile personalities, such as Logan Paul. However, she left WWE earlier this year. She was part of the redundancy layoffs when TKO Group Holdings merged many departments of the UFC and WWE. So now in terms of will this company get off the ground? I mean, Vince McMahon is worth $2.5 billion. So that kind of money will open some doors. I don't consider it unlikely that this company will get off the ground to some degree, although McMahon's age is a major factor in this as well. These legal matters could drag out for some time, and it's not clear how much time McMahon has left. WWE has unveiled a new initiative aimed at bridging the gap between independent wrestling and the WWE main roster. So this was announced on Tuesday. The program is dubbed WWE ID, which is short for WWE Independent Development. And it is designed to provide rising independent wrestling talent with a direct path to WWE and also select wrestling schools with additional resources and training opportunities. Here's what Triple H said in a news release about the program. He said, WWE ID is the latest in our efforts to identify and support the journey of up-and-coming wrestlers, in turn raising the profile of and strengthening the independent wrestling ecosystem. Well, ecosystem, that's nice. So WWE says in their press release that this new program is building on the momentum from the NIL program, the Next in Line program launched in 2021. So WWE ID aims to support independent wrestling schools and prospects by offering professional training, development, and mentorship opportunities. Under this initiative, WWE will designate select independent wrestling schools as official WWE ID institutions. They've named 5 schools that will initially start with the program, and they are Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy in Davenport, Iowa, Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center in Concord, New Hampshire, and the Knox Pro Academy in Los Angeles. So it is believed that there are some wrestlers already taking part in the program. And from what we know, the wrestlers are given a little bit of funding, not a living wage or anything like that, but they're also given some mentorship and some opportunity for additional training opportunities. But this is really probably the start of WWE and AEW competing to lock up prospects on the independent scene. Now, is this a good or bad thing for the independent scene or wrestling as a whole? Well, it's probably a good thing. Because if it's helping indie wrestlers continue to pursue a pro wrestling career, even when they're not currently able to make a living from it, that's just going to deeper the prospect pool for the entire industry. WWE putting some money into the independent scene, probably going to lead to AEW doing the same, and it's probably just going to strengthen the entire independent circuit. However, there are those who are very concerned about this. Particularly fans in the UK who believe that WWE coming in and creating NXT UK and signing up a bunch of talents and putting limitations on them in terms of where they could work, who they could lose to, and things of that nature really put some handcuffs on the UK independent scene. However, whether or not that same situation, that same scenario takes place elsewhere, I mean, we'll just have to see. So Rhea Ripley really does have a fractured orbital bone. It's coming from multiple insider source websites, PW Insider, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, stating that it is believed she suffered a fractured orbital bone during a brawl with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez on Raw recently. However, the real injury was worked into storyline on NXT, where Morgan and Rodriguez were shown attacking Ripley in the parking lot, the ever dangerous NXT parking lot, though the incident actually wasn't aired on TV. So they filmed a thing, they shoved it out on social media, and it's to cover for the fact that Ripley really does have a broken orbital bone. So she's going to be out of action for a fair bit. And of course, Ripley also missed 3 months earlier this year with a separated shoulder. So she's had a couple of injury setbacks already in 2024. And her big rival, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, she recently confirmed on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast that she has re-signed with WWE in a 5-year deal. She basically says that she re-signed recently, so she's got another 5 years with the company at least. And we've got some injury updates from AEW. So Nicholas Jackson is reportedly dealing with a separated shoulder, or he's been working through it for some time now, although details on how and when this injury occurred are not clear. However, it looks like the Young Bucks are going to be taking a little bit of time off. On AEW Dynamite this week, they lost the tag belts to Private Party, and then we're seen sort of leaving the arena in a hurry. Yeah, Brandon Cutler was even shown shredding some documents. Not sure what that's about, but they got out of the arena before Jon Moxley's crew could attack. And so perhaps them leaving the arena in a hurry like that and saying that they are going to, quote, work from home could be a cover for at least Nick Jackson needing to heal up some injuries. And so we'll see what happens with the Elite now for the rest of the year. Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker are now parents. The couple welcomed the birth of their first child, a daughter named Evie. They announced her birth on Halloween night. However, Evie was actually born a few nights before, so she's not a Halloween baby. So the couple had first announced that Soho was pregnant on an episode of Rampage in April, and the couple were married the following month. So big congrats out to Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker. 1/3 of the ROH 6-man tag team champions, Marshall Von Erich, revealed he's currently recovering from a torn pec. Speaking on his podcast, Marshall explained that the injury happened during a match where he overextended on a drop kick. There's really no timetable for him to return, but a torn pec can usually be a lengthy recovery time. Kenny Omega is set to make a special appearance for New Japan Pro Wrestling on November 4th at Power Struggle in Osaka. He won't be wrestling on the show, but Kenny Omega is going to make an appearance. He filmed a video in Japan recently, where he returned to the New Japan Pro Wrestling head offices and met with company president Hiroshi Tanahashi. And we also saw Matt Jackson on Dynamite this week, did the one-winged angel in his match with Private Party. So there's some hints that Kenny Omega, after a year away dealing with the effects of diverticulitis, could be returning to the ring soon. And unfortunately, El Phantasmo has announced that he's taking a bit of a sabbatical from wrestling as he's been diagnosed with cancer. So after New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that he would be taking an indefinite leave due to a health concern, ELP posted the following statement. He said, "Just want to get this out of the way so everyone doesn't worry about me. The last 2 weeks, I've had a bunch of scans and tests done, and doctors have found a little tumor of cancer. Things are thankfully happening really fast, but I have amazing family, friends, and fans by my side. And I'm so grateful to have the support of warriors who have gone through the same thing before. And I look forward to helping those going through it next. Believe me when I say I'm in good spirits and I'm not nervous, worried, or scared. Please send your love and prayers to my brother Chris Bay. He needs it much, much more than I do." We'll get to Chris Bay in a second. "My dream of standing beside Hiroshi Tanahashi defending New Japan Pro Wrestling will still happen. It's just impossible to say when. My fighting spirit has never been stronger, and I promise once I'm ready, I'll be back stronger than ever." As was mentioned in ELP's statement, Chris Bay suffered a serious neck injury on Sunday at TNA's TV tapings in Detroit. It's still not really too clear what happened. It was during ABC's match with the Hardys, and it was said to just be a normal move, but Bay was down and not moving. He did then go in for emergency surgery. He's still in Detroit and will be undergoing rehab in the city. Ace Austin, his tag team partner, has not left his side. Ace Austin is still in Detroit as well, and Bay's family has traveled to Detroit as well. So even though we haven't gotten a lot of details regarding the nature of the injury or the severity of the injury, it does seem very serious. Matt Hardy did mention on his podcast that TNA is taking care of all of Bay's medical bills. So Matt Hardy did mention on his podcast that TNA is taking care of Bay's medical bills. However, he has a long road to recovery. There's a GoFundMe up. There's a special t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees and TNA's website that can be purchased to help support Chris Bay. Again, unfortunately, we don't know we know it's a neck injury. We don't know the severity of it, but according to reports, the emergency surgery is said to have gone well, and he's recovering and making strides and is said to be in good spirits. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of details right now. El Hijo del Vikingo was also injured on Sunday at TNA's TV tapings in Detroit. However, it seems like he has avoided any major injury, and he's only going to be out of action for a couple of weeks. So he wrote on social media on Thursday that the injury did not affect any ligament or muscle. So it's just going to be a few weeks, they say, for Vikingo to get back in action, which is good because he just missed a very long time with a far more serious knee injury. He was gone for 7 months due to a torn meniscus and ruptured ligament that he suffered in February. And that's going to do it for this video, everyone. If you haven't already, you can check out our Substack, which has more details on all the news stories that we covered today, as well as news stories that did not make it into this video. Please like and subscribe and click on the notifications bell so you don't miss our next video.